Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting through the noise to get to the absolute core of what drives long-term customer loyalty. You know, why some companies just seem to nail it. Our goal, to get you super clear on this vital topic and fast. We'll be distilling the absolute best insights from our sources. We're really digging into, well, a fundamental question. How do companies forge those enduring connections with customers? The kind that go way beyond just, a single transaction. We're going to unpack concepts like customer value, satisfaction, and the lifetime profitability of these relationships. It's all about understanding what truly makes customers stick around.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've pulled together a pretty comprehensive set of sources. Think chapters from business textbooks, some academic research snippets, that kind of thing. They give a really deep look at both the foundational theories and the practical strategies businesses are using right now to cultivate that loyalty.
Okay, so we've got some excellent material. And our mission, like always, is to pull out those critical nuggets so you can feel really well informed on how the best companies connect with their customers. So let's dive in. We're talking about building these lasting connections, but where does a company even begin? Like, what's the foundational concept here?
Well, it really all starts with customer perceived value, CPV for short. It's basically the calculation customers make, often unconsciously. All the benefits they think they'll get minus all the costs they expect to incur. And costs aren't just money.
Right. So benefits could be the product itself, the service, maybe the people they deal with, even the brand's image.
Precisely. And on the cost side, yeah, there's the monetary cost, the price tag,
Yeah.
but also the time it takes, the energy, even psychological costs, like, the hassle factor.
That makes a lot of sense. It's the whole picture. The source uses that Caterpillar versus Kansu example, doesn't it?
It does, and it's a great illustration.
So imagine you're buying heavy equipment. You're not just looking at the purchase price of the tractor, right?
Yep.
You're thinking about the total cost.
Exactly. Acquisition, sure, but also usage costs, maintenance, how long it'll last, what you do with it at the end, all of it.
And Caterpillar, they might have a higher sticker price initially,
Okay.
but their perceived benefits like legendary reliability, great service network, skilled personnel, that strong image, can actually lead to a higher overall perceived value for the buyer.
Right. So the source points out there are really three ways Cat wins here. Maybe Komatsu has a lower price. Okay. But Cat could offer better service, a better experience, or focus on building that long-term relationship value.
So approved CPV isn't just theory, it's a practical framework.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really useful framework, applies everywhere, and gives you rich insights into why customers choose what they choose. It's not just about being the cheapest.
Okay, so a customer sees that value, makes the purchase based on that perceived value. What's the next critical step for locking in that relationship? That must be satisfaction, right?
You got it. Total customer satisfaction. It's defined basically as how a person feels, pleasure or disappointment, after comparing the product's actual performance, the outcome, against their initial expectations.
That moment of truth.
Exactly. Did it live up to the hype? Did it meet what you thought you were getting based on that perceived value? And crucially, satisfaction is seen as the primary driver of loyalty. If you're highly satisfied,
You stick around.
you stick around, you buy again, maybe even tell your friends. High satisfaction fuels loyalty.
Okay, satisfaction determines loyalty.
Yeah.
But satisfaction, it feels a bit fuzzy, doesn't it? How do companies actually measure something like that and turn numbers into actual loyalty?
That's a great point. It's definitely not just a thumbs up, thumbs down thing. Companies are constantly monitoring this. You see things like simple 1 to 5 satisfaction scales after an interaction, rate your experience. But there are more complex ways too.
Right. And that brings us to the Net Promoter Score, NPS. That's been a huge buzzword for years.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone listening who's heard of it but isn't totally clear,
hmm
what's the deal with NPS? How does it work?
So NPS, developed by Fred Reichheld, it's elegant in its simplicity, really. It boils down to one core question. How likely are you to recommend this company or brand to a friend or colleague? Customers answer on a 0 to 10 scale. And based on their score, they get put into 3 buckets. 9s and 10s are your promoters. They love you.
The fans.
Your raving fans, yeah. 7s and 8s are passives. They're satisfied, but kind of neutral, easily swayed.
Okay.
And 0 to 6. Those are your detractors. They're unhappy, potentially spreading negative word of mouth.
Ouch. So how do you get the score?
Simple calculation. Percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. That gives you your net promoter score.
And why is that so significant?
Well, its power lies in focusing companies on word of mouth. Promoters actively recommend you, essentially free marketing. Detractors can actively damage your brand reputation. It forces you to think about advocacy.
I see. It's a proxy for growth potential almost.
In a way, yes. And all this talk of satisfaction and NPS naturally ties into product and service quality. The sources define quality in a few ways: fitness for use, conformance to requirements, freedom from variation, basically delivering consistently on what you promise.
Quality is foundational then.
Absolutely essential for satisfaction and long-term relationships. Think Lexus versus Hyundai, right?
Okay.
Both deliver quality, but it's a different kind of quality, meeting different expectations. You have to deliver on your promise.
Okay, this is making sense. Value leads to purchase, experience leads to satisfaction, measured partly by NPS, built on quality. But what does this all mean for the business's, bottom line?
Ah, yes. The money question. That brings us squarely to customer lifetime value,
CLV.
CLV. And the key insight here is that not all customers are created equal, financially speaking. You often hear about the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle.
Yeah, 20% of customers generate 80% of profit, something like that.
Exactly. It often applies here, which raises a critical question for businesses. How do you know who your really valuable customers are, the ones driving most of the profit?
And that's where CLV comes in. The definition is the present value of the stream of future profits expected over the customer's lifetime purchases.
Right. And that present value bit is important. It accounts for the fact that a dollar earned years from now isn't worth the same as a dollar today.
Time value of money.
Exactly. So CLV gives a more realistic picture of a customer's current worth based on future potential.
The source had an example, right? Like a 10-year relationship.
Yeah, simple calculation. Say it costs $40 to acquire a customer. You map out expected revenues and costs each year for, say, 10 years. Discount those future profits back to today's value. And maybe that customer has a CLV of, I don't know, the example says over $9,200. That number tells the company how much that relationship is truly worth investing in.
Wow, okay. That shifts focus from just the next sale.
Totally. And beyond individual CLV, companies also do customer profitability analysis, often using something called activity-based costing, or ABC.
ABC. Sounds technical.
It's basically a way to more accurately assign costs. Instead of just averaging costs out, ABC helps you see which specific activities, which products, which customers are actually driving your costs.
So you can see who's profitable and who isn't.
Precisely. The source uses examples like P1, P2, P3 products. ABC can show you that maybe customer A buying P1 is highly profitable, but customer B buying P3 is actually costing you money. It allows for much smarter resource allocation.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Understanding the value, the profitability, that's huge. But knowing the value is one thing. How do you actually do the work of cultivating and keeping those valuable relationships going?
Right, the action part. This is where customer relationship management, CRM, comes into play.
CRM systems, yeah.
Well, the systems are tools, but CRM itself is the process. The definition is carefully managing detailed information about individual customers and all customer touchpoints to maximize loyalty. It's about seeing the whole customer journey, every interaction, and managing it strategically.
And the source talks about the marketing funnel as a way to visualize that journey.
Yeah, it's a classic model, but still useful. It shows how people move from just being in the target market
To becoming aware of you.
right, then maybe open to trial, then they actually try the product, become a recent user,
And a regular user, maybe your most often used brand.
and finally, hopefully, they become loyal.
And the goal is to move people down the funnel and stop them from falling out.
Exactly. Minimize customer churn or defection. That stat the source mentions is powerful. Reducing defection by just 5% can boost profits by 25% to 85%.
Wow, 25 to 85%. That's staggering. It really highlights the cost of losing customers.
It really does. It's often way more expensive to acquire a new customer than to keep an existing one happy.
So what are the concrete strategies companies use to actually build that loyalty and prevent churn?
Okay, several key ones. First, permission marketing. Getting the customer's consent to communicate with them. Super important today with information overload. Builds trust, makes your message relevant.
Instead of just blasting emails at everyone.
Exactly. Then there's interacting closely with customers, really listening. The source mentions involving customers in product development, like the Berry Makers example. People feel ownership.
Creates instant connection.
Definitely. And of course, loyalty programs. These come in a couple of main flavors. You've got frequency programs, or FPs, rewarding people who buy often or spend a lot. Think airline miles, hotel points.
The classic points card.
Right. And then you have club membership programs. These aim to build a real community. The standout example is the Harley-Davidson Owners Group, HOG.
Ah, HOG. Yeah, that's more than just points.
Oh, much more. It's about shared identity, rituals, traditions, events. It creates this incredibly strong emotional bond between the riders and the brand. They're not just customers, they're members of a tribe.
That's powerful stuff. What else?
In B2B especially, creating institutional ties is big. This means making it structurally harder or less desirable for a business customer to switch.
Like integrating systems.
Yeah, linking computer systems for inventory management, supplying specialized equipment they rely on. It builds high switching costs, makes leaving a real
Ugh,
pain.
stickiness.
Exactly. And increasingly vital are brand communities, often online, using Facebook, forums, blogs, creating spaces where customers connect with the brand and each other around shared interests.
Building that sense of belonging digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one strategy that seems maybe counterintuitive is focusing on customers who've already left. Winbacks.
Yeah, it's often overlooked but can be very effective. Why? Because it's frequently easier and cheaper to reactivate an ex-customer than find a brand new one.
How do you do it? Just call them up.
Well, you need to understand why they left first. So companies might use exit interviews or send surveys to lost customers, find out the reason for the defection.
Learn from mistakes.
Absolutely. And the source mentions an IBM case study showing that understanding customer pragmatism is key here, what really matters to them. Often it's concrete stuff, value, maybe a discount, fixing the original problem, convenience.
So address the reason they left and give them a solid, practical reason to come back.
You got it. It's about showing you listened, you learned, and you value their business enough to try and earn it back.
Okay, so bringing this all together then. Building real, long-term customer loyalty. It's clearly not just about making sales pitches.
No.
It's about understanding value from their perspective, carefully measuring satisfaction, knowing their lifetime financial worth, and then, crucially, actively managing that relationship across all touch points.
It's a whole system. And that loyalty, it's a deep commitment, isn't it? Not just a habit. It comes from consistent quality, real engagement, and that ongoing effort to meet and ideally exceed expectations.
A continuous journey, really.
You're both sides, yeah. Built on trust.
So here's a final thought for you to consider as we wrap up. If a company does choose to prioritize short-term sales boosts over nurturing these long-term customer relationships, how might that affect its resilience, its ability to innovate down the road, and what kind of hidden, unexpected costs might pop up for them later on? Something to chew on.